Hello YouTube people, today I am going to show you the watch that looks like a very high resolution item in real life. And what do I mean by that I will explain later on in this video. Also later on in this video I'm going to show you how this watch looks like on several custom straps, just for fun as usual. And also I'm going to compare this watch visually to several other watches, just for fun as well. But first of all, I would like to say thank you to Aliexpress. Aliexpress has reached out to me and told me we're gonna give you some money. All you have to do is just buy a watch from Aliexpress, make a video about it, and put a link in the description where people could buy that watch. So of course I said yes. So I took the money, I added a little bit of my own money on top, and I bought the hottest watch from San Martin that I can afford for the given situation. So it is all thanks to Aliexpress. Aliexpress, I appreciate that a lot. Without your support, we wouldn't have such a crazy watch here today. Just one more little thing, as I'm recording this video right now, there is a big sale going on Aliexpress. It's called Fall Savings, up to 60% discounts. And this big sale will be going till 17th of September. So check out Aliexpress right now, there is a big sale going on. I bought this watch because I just wanted to find out what's so special about this watch. People are going crazy about this model and its brother with GMT function. And I just wanted to see what's up. So it's like I'm doing investigation. I'm trying to find out what's so special about this watch. And you know, story goes like this. I took this watch out of the box, and initially I wasn't too happy, because in person looking at this watch, well, first few things that I noticed that I don't really like is that dial is very deep on this watch. Dial is very deep. It's like a diver style watch without a bezel. That's that's how it looks like. So it also has a little bit of thickness because of that. It is 13 millimeters in thickness. But the most important thing that turned me off a little bit with this watch is that edges around bracelet and clasp have a little bit of sharpness, a little bit too much for my personal liking, but I will talk about that later on when I show you this watch on the macro shot. So, you know, I put this watch on my wrist, I wear it out for a day, and I just don't get it. I just don't get it. It's just not my thing. I love watches that are, you know, simple, classy, probably some military style, vintage style, that I instantly love. I put a watch, something like that, on my wrist, that's it. Instant love, simple as that. But I put something aggressive, modern looking, something like that on my wrist, and I just do not connect with this watch. It just doesn't work for me. But I just keep trying. I just want to find out what's so special about this watch. So 1 day in, 2 days in, you know, 3 days in, and honestly lost my hope. I put this watch back in the box, and I'm just, I don't know, I took this watch as a next watch on my wrist, and then I understood what it is all about. So let me explain something. It's like, you know, it's like all your life you watch video in 1080p resolution and it's fine, it's perfectly fine, but one day you upgrade to 4K resolution, and initially once you upgrade to 4K resolution, you don't really notice too much of a difference. Maybe it looks a little bit sharper, maybe it looks a little bit crisper, but you are not really sure. So you just, you know, days go by, you use that 4K resolution, but one day somehow you switch back to 1080p, and then you notice the difference. Well, at least that's how it works for me, you know, this comparison. So that's what I noticed. It's like this watch is like 4K, and it makes almost every other watch look like it's just 1080p resolution. You know, if real life would have resolution, if things would have resolution and pixels, this is a very high resolution item in real life. That's how I could describe this watch. Because once I switch from this watch to any other watch, basically, well, almost any other watch, what I miss is that crispness, you know, that sharpness. And that's what this watch gives. That's why this watch is so special and so many people love it. And, you know, that's about that. It's a high resolution watch, and no matter, you know what's interesting with this watch. Let me do a little comparison. For example, there is this Adidas dive watch and this San Martin. Take a good look. Well, they look somewhat similar. You know, have a little bit similar looking dial, also very shiny and everything. And you know, from a distance like that, you can call them both looking sharp watches. They both look like 4K resolution things, okay? But the thing changes once you get closer and closer and closer. And you know what's special about this San Martin? No matter how close you look at this thing, it remains high definition. This watch remains high resolution no matter how close you look at this watch. But with watches like, you know, for example, this one, it looks amazing, this watch, don't get me wrong. But in comparison to San Martin, once we get closer, at certain point, this Adidas dive switches to 1080p resolution. From 4K resolution, this Adidas dive slowly switches. The closer you look, slowly switches to lower resolution. And that just doesn't happen with this San Martin. So I hope you understand this comparison, and to me that's what's special about this watch. Now, since I have a bunch of watches here on the table, I just want to have some fun and play with them. So, you know, let me just show one more watch quickly that also looks 4K resolution in real life. Well, not 4K, but it's just high resolution item in real life, which is also San Martin, unsurprisingly somehow. So take a nice quick look at this watch. Take a good look at this watch. And the thing about this watch is that it also has this sharpness in real life, this high resolution look in real life also. Doesn't matter how close you look at this thing, it remains high definition, at least to my eyes. So all watches that I'm about to show you here, you can find links in the description where you can buy them from, obviously. So let's just have some fun and let's put some watches on my wrist to see how they look like. Well, sorry, my wrist is very small. It's a girly wrist, as someone described. So some watches don't look very nice on my wrist, like this one. My wrist is obviously too small for this watch. But still, just look at this watch. What's so special about this watch for me personally is the color. It has very dark green color, and I have never seen a watch before with such a dark green color. It looks spectacular. It looks just so special. If you have big wrists, I strongly recommend this watch. This watch in person looks just so good. Also, look how slim it is. How slim it is. For a diver style watch, as big as this is a slim watch. Man, this watch, I really like it. I really like it. It's way too big for me personally, but man, that's a pretty thing to look at. Next watch, you know, just for fun. Next watch, which at certain angles, I could also describe this watch as a well, no surprise. It's also San Martin somehow. Also San Martin. And this watch, you know it very well. It's a sub-homage. There are a million sub-homages and million videos about this particular watch as well. But this one also has this sharp look. And sometimes I have this watch on my wrist, just play around in the light, how it reflects, how it looks like. And it has that special feel that this watch also gives. It has that special vibe of sharpness. And also, no matter how close you look at this thing, it remains sharp, high resolution. It looks just incredible, man. This also, sorry, my wrist is just too small to showcase this watch, but you still get the idea how this watch looks like, right? So let's take one more good look at this watch. What I especially like about it is that dial is glossy finish black. Well, I really like that, because most sub-homages that they had only matte finish black dials. And to me, glossy finish just puts this watch head and shoulders above any other watch that doesn't have glossy finish dial. It just looks extra special, extra luxurious. It's just nice, you know, it's just nice. So that's nice. Another watch that I would like to show you, I already did show you. I just absolutely love this Adidas watch that has mineral crystal, but that's a very beautiful mineral crystal with very nice anti-reflective coating. I don't know if you can see that, but it has very nice blue tint and it looks just spectacular. Why it loses a little bit of resolution when I show you this watch up close, I will explain a little bit later. But right now, let's just take a look how this watch looks like on my wrist, because the size of this watch is simply perfect for the size of my wrist. My wrist is 16.5 centimeters, and this watch just fits me so well. And this watch has one of my favorite movements of all times. It's a quartz movement that has a sweeping seconds hand. You know that I always prioritize quartz over mechanical because of their reliability. And other thing is that look how slim this watch is. That's because this movement is very slim, and this watch just sits so flat and so slim on my wrist. Oh, it looks special, man. This thing looks just so special. But about this watch a little bit later on. Another watch which I would love to show you a little bit, also has very similar vibe, also has very sharp look, also looks high definition in real life, is this Adidas with cream dial. I don't know enough nice words to describe the look of this watch in real life. It's just something else. This watch is just something else. It looks just so good. You know what? Let me tell you something. When I have a watch, which I haven't done review yet, I do not put that watch on custom straps yet. I only put a watch on custom straps for the video. So I always, I'm looking for the video. I'm waiting to make a video about the watch so that I could put that watch on custom straps and have fun, which is honest, you know, because this is honestly the first time I'm putting a watch on custom straps and I actually enjoying and just having fun. So I'm really looking forward to do this on this watch in this video, but also I'm really waiting to do a review on this watch, because then I'm gonna put this watch on some custom straps and I just can't wait. It's just, man, that watch just looks spectacular. Also, a few days back I got this watch. I bought it myself. It's not a sponsor watch, and man, this watch, I simply love this watch. It also has the same wonderful movement that I like very much. It's that quartz with sweeping seconds hand. It's a Militado ML05, this model, and let me put it on my wrist. Well, it doesn't really look good with this dressy shirt right now, but the size of this watch is just perfection on my small wrist, and also how flat and slim this watch is. I mean, man, I just so love this watch. I just so like it so much. Man, this watch is just something else. It's just incredible. Let's talk a little bit about specifications and the way this watch feels like on my skinny wrist. So according to my measurements, the diameter of this watch is about 40 millimeters. I say about because with the case shape like this, it all depends how you measure, but if I measure it diagonally, I get about 40 millimeters. And the size of the bezel, the diameter is 38 millimeters. So 40 millimeters, but this watch, because of this design, does appear to be a little bit larger on my wrist. But the good thing is that the lug to lug distance is just 46.3 millimeters according to my measurements. So it definitely sits well on my wrist, can't complain. What I could complain about is the thickness. Thickness of this watch is 13 millimeters, and the watch itself of the bracelet weighs about not about, exactly 70 grams. So it does feel a little bit heavy for my skinny wrist and a little bit top heavy as well. So I kind of wish that this watch had a dial less deep. It's a pretty deep dial on this watch. I know it's not a technical flaw, it's just personal preference. I just personally prefer when the dial doesn't sit this deeply, so the whole watch could be a little bit slimmer, but that's just my personal preference. And if I measure thickness, trying to exclude the sapphire crystal, thickness on this watch is about 11.5 millimeters. And sized up for me like that, it weighs 133 grams. Okay, this is my favorite part of the video. Let's play with some custom straps. Let's see how this crazy watch looks like on those straps. So let's begin with this green silicone strap. I don't think it looks good with a dressy style shirt, but the watch itself actually looks pretty good on this silicone strap, in my opinion. Let's take a better look, like that. And it looks alright, you know, gets a little bit more playful character. So let's make it even more playful, probably too playful in fact. And let's put this watch on a pink nylon strap. You know, this strap looks really good on the video. It's, you know, it just pops out. It looks alive. It looks so playful. That's why I use it so often in my videos. Anyway, let's take a better look up close. And one more thing, all the straps that you see in this video you can find on my website thomaswatchreviews.com in the menu section called straps. All those straps are selected by me and you will find all the links where you can buy them. This is the same nylon strap, just different color. And you know what, it looks okay, but I'm just debating myself, should I put such aggressive modern style watch on a nylon straps? What do you guys think? Does this watch look good on a nylon straps like that? What is your opinion? Is this watch too fancy to be on a nylon strap? That's the question that I have. What's your opinion? I mean, I don't know, visually looking, it looks kind of alright, but this watch is just so modern, so aggressive, so luxurious looking, even to the a little bit vulgar side of things, that I'm not sure if this watch looks alright on nylon straps. So let's do the opposite and let's put this watch on a black shiny leather strap. How does it look like right now? Does it look correct? That's the question. It doesn't look playful now. Well, you know, to be honest, the design of this watch is far from playful and lovely and cute. It's the opposite. It's aggressive, imposing, it's modern, but that's what people like. I know that that's the style that many people are actually looking forward. Let's do a little bit strange comparison. You know, speaking about the design language on this watch, if I would compare a vehicle, what vehicle would have such design language? What car? In my opinion, that would be BMW X5. That's a very imposing, very luxurious looking, aggressive styling sporty vehicle, BMW X5. And you know what? Personally, in real life, I really love the design. I really love the design of BMW X5. But on watches, such modern, aggressive, imposing design, I don't know, it doesn't work for me. It just doesn't connect with me personally. I appreciate how this watch is made, how sharp and high definition it looks like in real life. But the vibe of this watch, it just doesn't match me, doesn't match my personality. You know, I appreciate this watch for what it is, but I have to admit, it's not my thing. Just please don't misunderstand me. I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just down to a personal preference. That's all that is. The watch is great, especially of the bracelet. About the bracelet a little bit later on, but the watch itself is just incredible. The watch itself is just great. And look at this strap. It looks aged a little bit, you know, desaturated, a little bit scratched up. It looks interesting. And a very shiny watch on a very shiny bracelet. Sadly, I can't get this watch under my sleeve very well. It's just too thick. I can barely fit this watch under my sleeve, look. I can barely fit this watch under my sleeve. It looks funny. It doesn't want to fit under my sleeve. Anyway, that's how it looks like on this chainmail strap. I think it looks wonderful. I think this watch looks really good on this strap. Very shiny watch, very shiny strap or a bracelet, no matter how you call it. It's nice. This looks nice. Let's take a better look at this watch up close. You already saw a million videos about this watch, showing you this watch up close, but I'll try to show you something a little bit different this time. So I was complaining a little bit that the bracelet on St. Martin watches is a little bit too sharp for my liking. Like this St. Martin, this St. Martin, this St. Martin is the same sharp. Also, yet another one. Yeah, this one as well. Bracelet on all of them is, well, let me show you something up close. So, first of all, the sharpness on the bracelet, I do not call it a manufacturing error or mistake or something like that, or inability to make it right. No, because if you look at the way how St. Martin finishes the case on watches, every edge, it's rather obvious that they can finish any edge, any way, any shape or form that they want, and do that consistently. So the manufacturing is with very, very high standards, quite obviously. So the thing that they make this bracelet edge so sharp is obviously the conscious decision. You know, it looks great. That's one thing. If you look at this bracelet like that, visually, this sharp edge has very high definition. It looks very well defined. It looks very well done. So that's the whole watch. It looks very high definition. So this edge of the bracelet is no exception. Yes, it looks wonderful. But my problem with that is that once you handle this watch with your fingers without gloves, obviously, it just feels a little bit rough. For example, I take this Pagani design, right, and I handle this Pagani design. It's all right. You know, the clasp is very, very sharp, but the bracelet is all right. And then I take St. Martin and I somehow expect to feel it better than Pagani design because it's St. Martin, you know, and I handle this watch and man, you know what? Pagani design actually feels better. It's just, I don't know, it's just so strange. It's just such a strange decision to make this edge this sharp. And how sharp it is, how sharp are we talking about? Let's take this Pagani design and let's take this plastic pen and let's rub this pen into this bracelet. Nothing, absolutely nothing. It just doesn't catch. It just doesn't catch. Nothing. Let's do that on maybe an Adidas dive. Let's take this wonderful, beautiful Adidas dive with this wonderful, beautiful bracelet. Let's do that on Adidas dive bracelet. Come on. Nothing. Well, it does catch. It does catch though. It does catch, but honestly, I need to push quite a bit of effort to actually scratch the pen into the edge of this bracelet. If I try hard, yes, I can scratch it, but man, I do have to really push it. I do have to really push it. Now let's do that on St. Martin. You probably can hear that on the microphone. I'm not even pushing. It just catches. Just like that. Just Like that. Just look at this. I mean, well, how is the inside? Let's see how is the inside. Maybe the inside is okay. No, maybe a little bit better. I don't know, man. Let's try another San Martin. Maybe this watch. How is this one doing? I'm not even pressing into this bracelet. How is the inside? Well, inside is actually okay on this one. Yeah, inside surprisingly is actually pretty good. So that's, well, it does catch a little bit, but I do need to press quite a bit into this bracelet to get some scratches. So that's, this is kind of interesting decision. Outside, which you are able to see, is as sharp as it can be just because it looks good, but the inside is finished a little bit better because it rests on your wrist, so it doesn't scratch you. But with this watch, even the inside, on the wrist, it's fine. It's fine for first couple of hours. But after first couple of hours, I do get indentations on my wrist, and it just doesn't feel that well made, for some reason. It looks amazing. But the finishing quality, the finishing quality obviously is very good, but the decision to make it this crisp and this well defined, it's a little bit of a compromise, okay? It's a little bit strange compromise. Let's try on this one. How is this one doing? Man, you could peel potatoes with this bracelet. What the hell? And the inside? Well, inside is not bad. Well, inside is actually okay. Nice. And this one again? Well, for some reason the inside of this bracelet is a little bit sharper than these two. I don't know. That's just I don't know what to say. That's a little bit surprising, to be honest. And the clasp, well, the clasp, this one is actually a wonderful clasp, by the way. Look at this. This very beautiful San Martin logo which sticks out on top of the clasp. And this one actually has this glide adjustment. I just need to push this little button and I can adjust the bracelet. So I push it to take it out, but to push the bracelet back in, I don't need to press anything. I can just simply slide it back in. So press it to slide it out like that, and then I can put this watch on my wrist and size it up for me, which is very nice. This is very, very good thing. But how about finishing? Well, visually it looks spectacular. It looks just wonderful. But how is the sharpness? Well, I'm afraid I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't want to be negative, because given the way San Martin watches are made, looking at every edge and every corner, it is rather obvious that they can make any edge any way they want and do that consistently. They have very high precision, they can make anything they want. So why have they decided to make bracelet edge like this? It's a little bit questionable decision. It's definitely not some kind of manufacturing error, because they obviously can do whatever they want. So they made it like this, they tested it out, and they were like, okay, that's perfect, that's how we're gonna make it. So I don't know, I just wish it was a little bit nicer to touch. Take a good look at the case of this watch. How good it looks like. Now let me explain you the difference, why I said that this Adidas dive up close looks 1080p while San Martin remains 4K. So it's very simple. Just look at the bezel. Look at the reflections on the bezel. On the Adidas dive, they are not, a little bit wobbly, a little bit wavy. It's still shiny, it's still nice. But on San Martin, if you look at this shiny part on the bezel, it's mirror finish, and every shiny surface on this San Martin is just so sharp, so crisp. There is no waviness of any kind. All reflections on this watch are just perfect, absolutely perfect. On hands, on indexes, on the logo. Everything that is shiny, it is shiny as nicely as it can possibly be. Every little shiny edge is just so crisp and it's just so clean. So that's what I was talking about. No matter how close you look at this San Martin, it remains high definition. Now if you look at this Adidas dial, look at the shiny bezel, and you see all kinds of waviness going on, unevenness. So that's the difference. That's the difference. That's why from the distance they both look amazing, but up close the definition is clearly noticeable. You know, somebody cares about that, somebody doesn't. Me personally, I just don't look at my watches through a microscope, so for me it doesn't really matter. But man, you just can't ignore the finishing on San Martin. You just, even though I don't care about, looking at the watch through the microscope, I still appreciate that a lot. This is just some next level thing. Now the face down, how is it the same? Well, as for an H35A, I would say that the results are actually very nice. Just for fun, let's play a little bit with Lume. And what do I have on the table before I turn off the lights? This San Martin, which you have already seen. The main character of the day. This San Martin is very interesting to see how it compares, because indexes on this watch are just printed on. This one, oh my god, this green color. Every time I pick up this watch, I'm just amazed how nice it looks like. It's just so good. Just for fun, this Pagani design. This Parn Spree that has fully loomed dial. And this Adidas dive pilot style watch. This little San Martin with bronze case. Okay, let's turn off the light. And what do we have? Well, this one. That's crazy. Well, this one looks crazy. And now few other watches stick out, these two. And this one, surprisingly, indexes on this watch are just printed on. Yet still look how strong it is in comparison to this diving style watch with green color. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. And now the main character of the day. Well, those Lume markings on indexes are rather slim, but Lume is still pretty strong on this watch. It is still pretty strong, and I have used this watch throughout the night, and it is actually long-lasting Lume. I had no trouble telling the time on this watch in the darkness, even in the morning. Now this little San Martin is quite a surprise. Such small little dots, but it shines so bright. Nice, that looks nice. This Adidas Dipolo style watch is no surprise. This has pretty decent Lume. Pagani design. But surprisingly, this Lume, even though it doesn't appear to be strong, it is actually a pretty long-lasting Lume. I can actually tell time on this watch well into the night. It doesn't look strong, but it actually holds up pretty well for a long time. But the winners of today, well, obviously this thing is just crazy. This thing is just crazy. These ones also, they just keep on shining. They just keep on shining, man. They look so good. I love playing with watches in the dark like this. They look different. You can see the silhouette, the contours, those reflections, how reflections play on the watch. It's just fun. This is fun. This is what I do for fun. I mean, look at this watch, how nicely it plays in a light. Yeah, at certain angles, this watch looks just spectacular. I give you that. This watch does look impressive, you know, no matter how you look at this watch, up close, from far away, in a bright light, in the darkness, doesn't matter. This watch is just impressive. Simple as that. Simple as that. The design may be not for everyone, but you can't ignore the fact that this watch looks impressive. Simple as that. So anyway, that's how these watches look like in the dark. So what's the end note? It seems like this video was a little bit negative towards St. Martin and towards this watch. Well, no, listen, this watch is actually great. It's just the way, it's just the style, how I make my videos. You know, I tend to focus on negative things because I think that's what's important, because those things could be potential deal breakers for you. You know, this watch costs quite a bit of money, and before you buy this watch, there are several things that you probably should know. And I see this video as some kind of a public service where you watch and you decide, are those things deal breakers for you or are they not? So as long as you like this watch and you are okay with those potential deal breakers, man, this watch is just insane. It's incredible. You can look at this watch with a, I don't know, with a microscope. It's still gonna look great. It's done to such high standards that no matter how close, how careful you look at this watch, it just looks great. It's just insane. And how about this sharp bracelet? Well, I did ask this question on Reddit and it seems that nobody cares. You know, so as long as this bracelet looks good, which it does, nobody cares about sharp edges. You know, it seems that I'm just being a little bit too picky, perhaps. Anyway, thank you, Aliexpress, for sponsoring me. I appreciate that a lot. Without you, we wouldn't be able to play with such incredible watch today. So thank you once again. Thank you for watching. Have a beautiful day. Goodbye.